excess of 100 volunteers who have come here. I would say maybe 60% of those people were from this community. The other 40, just like myself, have flown in here from other parts of the country to be here to support our disaster relief efforts. We focus primarily on taking care of people initially in terms of sheltering and feeding. We then go out into the community and we do assessment of the damage. We actually physically view the neighborhoods and the homes. In addition to that, we'll bring out emergency supplies, cleanup kits, and things of that nature. Where we are in this operation is we've been participating with the local government and community partners. In that participation, we've been to several community partnership events out at the Pasadena Convention Center, out at Baker Ripley. Yesterday we were at a session out at the Orange County Convention Center, and this is where the citizens who have been impacted are asked to come in and meet with not only ourselves, with other community partners and gain access to the various resources that everyone in the community is bringing. So to help these folks, it's not just one organization, it really takes across all parts of the community to help them begin their recovery efforts. Where we are right now is that we have around 20 families that are staying with us at a shelter. When we have people in a shelter with us, we bring in special caseworkers, and they work with them specifically on how we're going to transition them out of the shelter back into their recovery. They may not be able to go directly back into a living circumstance that was similar to what they had, but our job as just providing temporary housing is to get them to the point where they can leave and begin that journey. We work with a lot of partners to do that. It includes not only some financial assistance, but a lot of coordination with other partners, because it really, we are just one of many organizations that are going to help them along the way. So we have these families that we're working with. Some of them are leaving now. In fact, we had 5 or 6 of them leave last night on their way to where they're going next. We will follow up with them some number of months later to see how they're doing. We just are continuing that effort. We're pretty much winding down with most of the preliminary work, and it's really focused on the folks that are in our care right now, getting them moving on to the next part of their journey. So that's pretty much where we are. I guess I'm available for questions if there are any.
You said you had 20 families with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the starting number? Has that number come down?
Oh, no. We had originally 3 shelters open throughout Harris County, and I believe there might have been one in Orange County. This is now just what is remaining.
Do you have a rough estimate of how many families you had initially?
Not off the top of my head, sorry.
Were these people in apartment complexes or homes or both?
Oh, they could be from any, yeah. They're from homes and apartment complexes. Even in some instances, it could be mobile homes. You know, it's just whatever people are living in. Some of them may not have been in a structure. You know, in some cases, they're precariously housed or homeless, but they are impacted in the same way that anyone that's living in a traditional housing solution is impacted.
How is the process different you said you had 3 shelters, now you're down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So those 2 shelters worth of families, what was the process like? How is that process of getting them out of the shelters different than the remaining 20 families?
Well, probably in those cases, they may have been without power and water initially. And so, you know, they're staying with us because at that point where they're going to go back to simply isn't habitable, but it's a temporary displacement. So that's really the difference, is that initially we'll open up for anyone that needs it, and as the power comes back, I'm from the Austin area, so there's a lot going on there with freezing and power outages and things of that nature, so it just depends on the disaster.
And how long do you anticipate this final shelter being open?
Hard to say, but I think we're working very, very hard with them to make sure that Some of them are leaving, as I said, and I would think that we're looking at a week or two, but it really just depends on how quickly we can gain access to other resources. We do have a housing liaison that's here that's working with other parts of the local community and the government so that we can gain access on behalf of our clients for other opportunities, as well as partnerships where people will, other organizations will bring other kinds of resources to the table.
The one shelter that was, apparently it was scheduled to close it on Friday, but you guys have decided to keep it open, is that correct?
No, I think that's probably just some miscommunication. We don't close shelters until everyone has a place to go. So that's why it's very difficult to be able to give you a specific date. There is no current date scheduled for closure, but are we working aggressively with our families to help them? We do. So as soon as they're ready and we've found the way to get them forward, they're going to leave. And if that means they're all gone tomorrow, we'll close tomorrow. And if they're gone next week, it'll be next week.
Can you walk us through the process a little bit of what your role at the American Red Cross is to getting people on their feet? Is it something that you guys do directly? Do you pass it off to other organizations that you work with?
With regard to a disaster like this?
To finding people more permanent shelter, to get out of your shelters.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what our shelter resident transition program is all about. It's a combination of some dollars as well as a lot of community coordination. So a lot of times someone may need a first month's deposit, you know, to be able to get in. They'll need a coordination to get a background check. They'll need a credit pass. They'll need moving resources. So we work not only with our own resources that we have, but with the community partners and the government to see if we can help them. So each community has different types of organizations that help. Lots of them are faith-based. Some of them are corporate foundations. It's a myriad of organizations, and every community is different.
Have you given out any monetary gift cards or anything like that too?
We don't do gift cards. We do provide some financial assistance. There is certainly eligibility criteria for that. People that are the most impacted are the ones that are going to see that. It really just depends on the circumstance of the family.
You guys are always looking for help too, right?
We are. So, yes, so how people can help us really, obviously donations are always good to the disaster relief because that's what allows us to bring people in, to provide the resources and to be there essentially on day one. But volunteers is also the other way. I've been doing this for about 20 years with the Red Cross, not always in disaster, but we have many opportunities, and we're always, because we are a volunteer-led organization. So we really could use anyone who is interested. There are so many different jobs. There's something for everyone here.
The donations that you mentioned, if people are watching, they want to bring donations, would they bring them here or directly to the shelter?
No, they don't need to bring them. We don't accept any kind of donations on the ground as volunteers. So what we ask is you can go through the telephone line, you can go online and make a donation, and if you just designate disaster relief, that allows that to be used anywhere in the country for us to be able to help when we're needed.
So monetary donations.
That's right.
And how do they donate? Website, phone numbers?
Yes, online, website, you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS, and every way through social media and the telephone is the appropriate way. Okay, anything else?
You did ask about nights. We've had 476 nights, right?